Hello, good people. Welcome back to Kente Construction, whereby here we normally talk about construction-related issues. So once more, my people, I'd like to thank you for your good, nice, continuous support. So today, I'm somewhere in Siaya County, in the outskirts of, yani mahali tu in a neighbor Kakamega County. So niko hapo, nataka kufanya kazi inaitwa roofing. So I want you to learn something on this video because hii ni nyumba ya a spacious 2-bedroom house. This is not a standard a spacious 2-bedroom house ambayo tumeijenga kutumia bricks. Na kwa wale ambao huwa mna doubt bricks, I want you to have the proof here that bricks are essential, bricks are good, na bricks are cost cutting na zinarudisha ujenzi chini na ina make sure kwamba umeenda successful with your progress of building. So come with me as I take you tuone hii nyumba inside and outside, how it is made, na kama itakufurahisha maamuzi ni wako. So our house is here, which is a spacious 2-bedroom house. We have built it using bricks. As I normally say, bricks are essential, ni mzuri sana. They can build all parts of the house, starting from foundation up to the walling and lintel. So why are bricks so good and mostly underrated? Bricks are underrated. Most of you huwa mnaziona kama ni za average people, but what I can say about building is that you have to cut cost in order to enable you build your house up to the finishing. So if you are in places where bricks are available, by the way, not all bricks are good for building and not all bricks are well made. Some bricks, when are not well made, they usually break at most, na unasikia kuna kitu siku hizi wanasema wanachoma na petroli. So if you want to make bricks, you can just make it yourself on your site, na inakusaidia pia kufanya nini? Kukata cost. So bricks are essential. Why are they, do they build foundation and not machine cut? Is that bricks huwa zinatengenezwa, zinachomwa mpaka zinamaliza ile ability ya maji kuingia ndani. That's why when anybody, to you people who own wells, yani zile kisima za maji, huwa zimejengwa na matofali na haziwezi jengwa na machine cut stones. Machine cuts are very nice, zinaonekana smart, very expensive, but kuna part haziwezi serve. Kuna purpose haziwezi serve yenye bricks zinaweza serve. So hii imejengwa na bricks na ni a spacious 2-bedroom house ambayo nataka tuione. As I normally say, when you build your house, make sure your plan has these corners. These corners huwa zina design na zinaleta ile roofing ya juu, so it will be also a bit smarter when it has these corners rather than just being a straight wall. So this house is amazing. Just look at the height. The height is the one we normally advocate for. This one can hold the gypsum ceiling, chandelier lights, enough for circulation of air. The ventilations are on, so hii nyumba iko sasawa. For the average quotation of these bricks, the difference between bricks and blocks or machine stones is that bricks zitakula mchanga mingi. Hiyo tu peke yake, that's what it normally looks like a disadvantage. So ukiangalia hizi, you look at the joints, unaona ziko almost together. So you will need a lot of sand, but bricks are cheaper. You can't compare them with those machine cut stones or blocks. For instance, the average price of a brick is 10 shillings, and the surface area of a brick is 4 bricks are equivalent to 1 block. So hiyo mota inaenda hapo katikati ndio unapata inakuwa excessive kidogo. So look at this house. The house is very good. The ground was not sloppy. That's why when you want to build, you have to make sure I come for a site visit. I visit your ground and advise you accordingly to what you have to do and what you have to buy. So unaona huku kulikuwa kumeteremuka. Look here. So we chose to build the house on the upper side because it is now a new home. And when we are building, we make sure that nyumba yako inasimama in a way that itafanya nini? inakusweet because you are now planning for your home. We have to leave space for the flowers, space for the... By the way, in our culture, children will stay in your house when they are still young, and once they grow up, they reach a certain stage, they have to relocate and build their so-called simbas. We have small houses zile za maboys zinaitwa simba. So in our culture, hapa huwa wanaishi wakiwa wadogo. The only visitors, yani watoto. By the way, children are just visitors who overstay their visit, but eventually after sometimes they'll have to relocate and leave. Wengine wataenda shule, and others, like the boy ones, have said they will go to their small houses, which we usually know the lions, yani simba. Okay, so when you are building this house, as I normally say, even you, the client, the one who's building it, you are no longer staying in your father's house. So when you build a house, don't do it purposefully for the children, because they will at one time relocate and the house will belong to you and your partner, kama Mungu atawapea uhai. So build not to please people, build not to please the so-called children, just build for your own comfort. This is just a domestic home. So I'd like to let you learn, as I've been telling you, we've learned about what we call foundation. Foundation, we normally raise it above the ground, above the water level, and we normally put in this, what we call, this polythene. It acts at something called DPC. That is the damp-proof course, and now that paper is given a name of the damp-proof membrane, which stops the rising of the moisture from the ground ikipanda kuenda juu. So once ikipanda juu, utapata your plaster starts peeling. So if ikipeel, hiyo inamaanisha unyevu inapanda juu, na ikipanda juu, your paint won't last long. Utaishi painting and repainting. So let us have the house tour of the inside, tuone how the house was made, na pia if it were you, what would you have proposed, like a change or whatever. So by the way, here tumeanza mambo ya roofing, na wale expert wale niko nao, the team, the engineers wameanza kufanya mambo yao. Tuna prepare kwa ajili ya roofing. So the house has a closed veranda ambayo ukiingia, this one is a closed one. Iko na mlango na dirisha ambayo ukiingia, immediately on your right, now unapata the main door ambayo inaingia kwa main house. So hii mlango iko hapa kando, so that the veranda can serve its purpose, ikuwe na space whereby unaweza weka a coffee table and some 2 plastic chairs, or kama wewe uko na hii fuel guzzler inaitwa motorbike kama ile pale, unaweza ipaki hapa na ilale hapa. So once you enter, unaenter kwa lounge. So the lounge of this house is somehow, to me, is just spacious, because ina measure 20 by 17. Pale ni 17 na hapa ni 20. As you can see, beside the veranda kuna small windows hapa ambazo zinashika side ya nje. Hizo zinasaidia supply enough natural sunlight inside the lounge, because I said the bills are going higher, na huwezi kuwa kwamba even at daytime you have to use electricity in your house. So you have to make sure your house has large dirishas. So like this one, this is what we call a large window. To me, I would propose maybe by the time the windows will be befitting, we shall enlarge with this one somehow larger to make it a gate size window. So hiyo itasaidia the supply of natural light itakuwa hapa ndani ya kutosha. So here it is. Naona hizi dirisha zimekaa hapo vizuri. By the way, si ati tunafaa tu tujaze dirisha kwa nyumba. We have to make sure we are leaving a space for our furniture, a space for our television, and a space for other allocations in the house. So ukiwa hapa kwa lounge, beside it we have a dining, which is also large spacious with enough lighting of 2 separate windows, and the dining is measuring 13 by 10. So here there it measures 10, and here it measures 13. The house is very, very spacious, na mimi nimependezwa na hii plan. Okay, in between the lounge and the other rooms, we have a corridor, which I normally say it acts as a good separation. It gives enough separation and access of to the other rooms on the house. So he mostly in every house because it has its own purpose. So ukiwa kwa hii lounge unaingia on your left kuna an entrance. Hapa unapata ni kitchen, which is open kitchen, which is an enclosed kitchen, na iko spacious, na unaona pia iko na its own window. So the window, it borders an open veranda, back porch ambayo itakuwa ya nyuma, and this one I normally say it's essential kwa wale watu wanafanya mambo ya catering hapa kwa kitchen. If you want to rest outside or you want to use a jiko, you can use it on that back porch or veranda. So here we have a window, and the window in the kitchen, as I said earlier, the purpose huwa ni kuweka sink hapo. Huwezi weka cooker or whatever there kwa sababu ya the wind coming from outside. So hapo inaekwa what we call sink, so for just cleaning, kuosha vyombo, na hapo inakuwa ni mambo ya maji. On the other side we have a pantry, which is now spacious one. Hii imekuwa kubwa more than the normal one. Imekuwa kubwa, and now that this house is in the village, this one is in the grassroots, yani mashinani. It is here, so here we normally store cereals. Okay, in village people do farm. So when you farm, you need a big store because you'll have to store your cereals inside here, kwa sababu mambo imekuwa mengi na ukora imekuwa mingi. Your mali yako inafaa ilale mahali unalala. People say inapumua nikisikia. So this is the store of this house. So from there we go now to the bedroom side, ambayo hapa on our right we have the master bedroom, which is here. It is also large and spacious enough, and it is en suite. I normally say, if you look at this bedroom, this is measuring 16 by 14. Just look at it. The bedroom is very wide, spacious and amazing. Unaona iko tu na dirisha moja, meaning kwamba it gives you enough space to allocate, to beautify and make it more modern. That when you are inside this room, as I normally say, this is your only personal room on your house. Make sure it is spacious, it is big enough and enough to serve you very well, because hii ndio yako wewe peke yako. So on the other side we have the washroom ambayo iko hapa, na hii ni ya village. So the problem with building these houses at home is the source of water. Because most people, where we are building this house in urban areas, we have the supply of water, like the water and sewerage companies, they have the supply of water. But in the village, you will have to dig your own well, uchimbe kisima, you erect the water tower, you have to pump the water from the well to the water tower, so that the water tower now can drain the water easily back to the shower, to the kitchen, and to the hand wash basin. So that is the only challenge when building such like houses in the village. Inabidi wewe kama client utangangana. So on the other side we have the other bedroom. Hii nayo iko karibu na hii, but it's also large, good and spacious one, ambayo iko mzuri na pia itaserve purpose yake. So this house inachukua at an average of 10,000 bricks. The reason why imechukua 10,000 bricks, mostly 3 bedroom ndo huwa zinachukua 10,000 bricks, but even this one has taken 10,000 bricks, na hizo zimeenda kwa sababu ya partitioning, na the rooms are spacious. Sio zile zimejifinya, they are spacious rooms. So here we'll be doing roofing. So to an average, this house, it needs 10,000 pieces of bricks, and 10,000 pieces of bricks at an average price plus the transport if you are buying them kama hujazitengeneza on your own, they will be costing you around 100,000. So from there you also need what we call ballast. Okay, the ballast of this house, and this is the locally assembled ballast. I'm not talking about the quarry one, ile ambayo mnaambiwa tani moja ni 2,200. The locally assembled quarry of this house, it will cost you around 40,000. Okay, so you need sand, you need what we call wall pass, and you need the polythene for the DPC. In average, this house up to this stage before roofing, I'm talking of this stage before roofing, it will cost you just an average of 500,000 if you are building in the village. Hii ukienda town ina mambo yake, because in the village mostly kama hii hakuna mambo za approval, hakuna mambo za nini, but you just make it inakuwa iko sawa. So if you need this house, I have the plan, and here we want to do what we call roofing, and we shall be roofing using the corrugated mabati from MRM, which are the best quality one, and I normally prefer that. By the mercies of God, kila mtu angenunua mabati ya MRM. Hizo mabati zinadumu. For every company, even the MRM, they will eventually fade. But the good thing about MRM is that you will remain with the gauge, okay? So ukiwa na gauge, you can repaint them on your own. Or if you have the warranty, once zinakuwa na shida, unarudi kwa kampuni, wanakupea nini? Wanakupea the paint, you come and repaint your mabati, zinakuwa ziko sawa. So my people, at here, sisi tunataka kuchapa kazi, na tunataka tuchape kazi. This is our work. I've given you an assignment. You can digest it on your own and choose to give me a call. Once you give me a call, utakuwa mambo yako iko sawa. So your site also requires a pit latrine, and a pit latrine in the village usidhanie ni kitu ya mchezo. Hiyo pia huwa inakuja na gharama zake. So it's there, as you can see, pia imetengenezwa tayari. So this is the best way to plan your home. You build a home, you build a pit latrine, you build a house, na kila kitu inakuwa iko sawa. So whoever is intending to build, unafikiria mambo ya ujenzi, the best things for you to do today, panda miti. Ukipanda miti itasaidia mtoto wako ama mtu mwingine kujenga. Whoever has built knows the pain, knows ile uzito iko kwa kujenga. So kitu naweza kuadvise, you can plant trees like this client. Hizi mbao unaona tunatumia hapa, alipanda miti zake, so it's just splitting. So gharama ya kununua mbao, maybe by an average this house would have costed around 70,000 in timber. Now you will only use 20,000 in splitting the timbers, na inakusaidia kuendeleza kazi yako kwa sababu you have some of the materials already. Kitu inafanya kampuni zinaanguka ni lack of raw materials. Kitu inafanya watu hawajengi ni lack of raw materials, na kitu itafanya wewe ujenge is because you have the raw material at your disposal. So my people, here it is, the work is in Siaya, na hapa iko mambo iko Lualala. So thank you my people, as we meet in the next video. See you, be blessed, bye bye.